Hello, so today I'm going to be going over a Retina board that has no trackpad. So, this should be really obvious. And what makes this particularly funny is this is somebody who came in wanting, I think it was a battery replacement. Apple refused to replace their battery without their flat rate fee because the computer had one of the moisture stickers changed in color. And as any of you who service Apple products know, those stickers change from white to red if it rains outside. So this was a machine that really, honestly, legitimately had no liquid damage, and they were told fuck you by Apple, which is very common. So we quoted a price for it, which is what you get when we're buying an original battery and we are slicing the old one out of your machine. Because again, it's not screwed into the computer anymore. You have to understand with the Retinas, they glue that shit in there and it sucks. You know, you make one wrong move and, click here and you'll see what happens. So the whole idea here is we gave a price and he's like, that's a ripoff, blah, blah, blah. And you know what happens when people say stuff like that? What Steve and my receptionist here like to call instant fucking karma. So let's see if any of you can see what the instant karma is, which is that this has now turned into a $425 battery replacement, not including the cost of the battery that he has. Because again, as I say, I have a solutions-based system here where we do not do particular little component replacements, and we actually charge for board repair, the board repair rate. And this would have been so much cheaper if he just wasn't an asshole. Because again, even though I do have that solutions-based rate, sometimes my little Scrooge's heart warms up a little bit, and I'm nice about these things. And here's the thing. Here's the most important thing with this business. A lot of the times, whether or not we do stuff at retail, discounted, or free, really comes down to whether or not your mother succeeded in teaching you how to not be an asshole. But if your mother failed in teaching you how to not be an asshole, you're paying $425 for an inductor. And that's really the point that I wanted to get across with this video. Because for those of you who don't regularly watch the channel, the reason that I do solutions-based billing is, let's say, like they say, the only problem I had is the trackpad, right? So let's say that, as you can see here, I'm not doing anything to any other portion of the board. I am not touching other portions of this motherboard. I am only working on this little section. So let's say he says, well, every now and then this freezes, or well, like 6 months down the line, my backlight brightness control isn't working the way it did. Now, what your inclination is going to be, your natural inclination is going to be, is to say, well, we didn't work on that, and you're going to politely tell them to go away. But the thing is, they're going to expect service because they paid you, even if it was only for that little component replacement. Because people don't really want to think that it's something that they did or just something that's their bad luck. It's got to be you. It's got to be the last guy who touched it. And, there are some really smart people who've talked on this. I remember Alan Glasser, who teaches this class, and he said, when you touch it, you own it. So your price has to kind of cover owning that system. So if you come back a month later and your issue is PCH related, and I have to replace a chip with 900 balls on that, man, how dumb am I going to feel if I charge you $20 for an inductor? And it kind of removes that argument. Again, I don't have to argue about all that stuff back and forth. There's no arguing back and forth to be had because you paid for an overall service, not for like a single inductor. But in this case, there's a very good chance that it really, honest to God, only is the single inductor. And this is not the fucking soldering iron tip I should be using for this either. I dare not use hot air when I'm that close to a plastic connector. Okay, let's solder you down on the other end. Okay. And because you're an asshole, because you went out of your way to be an asshole, to huff and puff, to leave the door open, to look at us funny when we said, excuse me, sir, do you mind closing the door? That is $425. Like, really? I mean, That is what it comes down to in the tech business. And it's just something that I really want to get across to you because it's going to happen in other sections of your life. And I know it's something that happens to me on a regular basis where I know that whether or not somebody is going to choose to go above and beyond to help me out, or whether they are just going to stick within their standard rigid policies, it's really going to be based on, again, did my parents succeed in teaching me how to not be an asshole? Because very often I am an asshole, but often I am an asshole to people who've been an asshole to me. I'm usually not an asshole to people if they have not given me a reason to. And, you know, technically I'm not being mean. I'm not overcharging. This is motherboard repair, and I am charging you for motherboard repair. It is my retail rate for motherboard repair. And I fixed it. But again, you know, do I want to give you a break? Like, I would say 50, 75% of the time, I will give you a break if you were nice, humble, honest, and you just fucked something up. But again, you curse, you huff and puff under your breath, you leave the door open, you use nasty derogatory names, $425. You got to think about this kind of stuff. It's important. You know, if you have an appointment, be nice to the receptionist. You have a job interview, be nice to the receptionist. Be nice to the janitor. Be nice to the people who work for the people who work for the people who are choosing whether or not to hire you. And ever you walk into any type of business, try to again, don't go above and beyond to just suck up to everybody, but just try to be nice. Try to be personable. Try to be somebody that other people would like to help. If that's who you are, you're going to find that a lot of people in the world are going to be very, very happy to help you out and lift you up during your bad times. But if you're just a dick for no fucking reason, you are going to meet resistance at every single point in your life. And your life is going to be harder and you will be less successful, even if you are a qualified person, even if you do, for some reason, feel that you've deserved or earned the success that you feel you don't have. Just how do you treat the world? How do you interact with the world? How do you treat people when that person is not somebody who's really important to you? Because you're going to find that, again, someday, somehow you're going to need that person's help, or you're going to need that person's friend's help, or that person's coworkers, sisters, mother-in-law's help, and it really is going to come down to whether or not you are an asshole. You see, one thing to realize when it comes to giving a discount or when it comes to going above and beyond to do things that are outside of the way your business practices or outside of the scope of what it is your service is, it's really going to be based on A, how nice they were to you, and B, who was wrong. So, yeah, you do have a crappy situation. Yeah, it is just one component knocked off of your board, but why is it that you have one component knocked off of your board? Well, it's because you decided to purchase a battery, you decided to take apart a computer that you're not qualified to take apart, you decided that you were going to try to save $20 because the difference in price between the retail battery he bought and my wholesale battery plus my labor to replace it wound up being literally $20 difference. So the thing is, you decided to screw yourself. And for some reason, since you decided to screw yourself, you want me to do something outside of what I usually do to help you. No, again, if I knocked that thing off of the board while I was working on your stuff, then we'll talk and yeah, I gotta help you for free. But you broke it. And let's just focus on the reason you broke it. You broke it specifically because you did not want to come here. So, again, like, where is the sympathy? Again, even I understand if you want to save money and do shit yourself. By all means, go ahead and do that. I even understand if you break that shit and you come here and you're like, please help. I'll help you, but just don't be an asshole for no reason.